I'm excited for this conversation.
Man, hey, look, I got my questions ready, and I'm trying to have me a therapy session, man. You already know.
Let's talk about it. When the last time you told somebody keep their head up cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, don't tolerate hate around it. Sticking to keeping it real, we never keep up with the scope. Wanna be more than do more than most. Wanna be more than do more than most.
This episode is brought to you by Lucilla's Cleaning Service, where your cleanliness is our business. Now, this company specializes in commercial and residential cleaning. So if you want a free quote, be sure to reach out to their website at www.lucillascleaningservice.com.
Figure out your purpose is more to this life than carrying the burden. Too many problems.
Hey, my boy be getting, he be going in, bro. He be going in, bro.
Help each other, cause we stop making people feel like they're Let's talk about it. How you see your brother head down, you ain't lift him up.
There you go.
How we tell our kids do better, but we never taught them how to go about it. When the last time.
All right, man. We just got to give them bits and pieces of the song, man. You know what I mean? We can't give them the whole thing, you know. What's happening, people? Welcome back to Be More to Do More podcast, where we help you become the person you need to become to do the things you call do. Your boy Tone in the building, and
Henry Allen Harton, the third.
Don't forget the
3.
You already know, man. Guess what, bruh?
Yo.
Well, hey, we on the big and better things, man, because we got a doc, man.
Big dog here.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, you already know, man. But before we go there, man, let me just introduce her, man. She's a licensed professional. She's a approved clinical supervisor.
Wow.
A certified professional counselor supervisor. And what she do is, we'll just say, combined with her passion for promoting mental health wellness, she utilizes a unique and therapeutic approach to assist professionals and entrepreneurs who are experiencing life challenges and transitions, depressions, anxiety, and grief. We have, let me find that applause button, man. We have Brentia Caldwell. You already know.
Okay.
You like that?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes. Give me my flowers. Yes, I love it.
Did I introduce you right?
You did.
Okay. Cool.
I'm excited for this conversation.
Man, hey, look,
I'm super excited.
I got my questions ready, and I'm trying to have me a therapy session, man. You already know. So Miss Brentia, can you just introduce yourself to the people and just tell them what you do and what your passions are?
So I'm a licensed professional counselor. I provide therapy services in the Atlanta area. I work with adults. I am actually a former school counselor, so I used to work with children. Can't do that anymore. That life is behind me.
Okay.
But I specialize in working with adults, high-powered careers, Black women,
right,
entrepreneurs, and then I also help other clinicians get licensed. So that's the supervisor part.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
like emerging clinicians can come see me, get supervision hours, and then get fully licensed.
Okay.
So why do you? Okay. So sorry, I'm just all
already jumping in. It's okay.
I knew he was gonna do this because he was psyched up before he said, "Bro, I got so many questions." Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I still got a ton, but like, why? Like, you giving the game away? It seems like.
Oh, sure.
Because most people would just...
I'm not a gatekeeper, though. Because whatever is for me is for me.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of losing clients or, the more the better.
Yeah.
Right.
The more Black faces in our field, the better.
Yeah.
I know God will bless me regardless. So.
Hey, man. That's what's up. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think... what's in you that brought you to that point? Because at the end of the day, right, like... There's not a lot of people that think like that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that think about, some people have this crab in the barrel mentality.
Yeah.
Right. I can't give you too much sauce.
Yeah.
Because I know you're going to try to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what made you?
I just had a rough start as a clinician. And I just knew that I would never want to be that to anybody else. I wanted to be the total opposite. So that's the way I am as a leader at my practice. I try to be as cool of a boss as I can.
Yeah, as you can.
Because sometimes you can't always. But and I just try to be a great supervisor.
Right.
Because we need more Black clinicians, more effective, efficient clinicians in our field. Black faces. So like, who am I to stop folks from doing that when I know our field needs it? So
Right. And I feel like just me being Black, I feel more comfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's more relatability there, more
absolutely.
familiarity there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never see a non-Black therapist. And I grew up around white people.
Right.
You know, I'm from Colorado, but yeah, you just got to get me. And if you're not Black, I mean, you just can't get me.
So you don't believe that somebody should get a different view whenever they're going through mental health things?
I think, sure, but Black people are not a monolith, so you can get a varied perspective.
Hold on. I don't know that. My doobies out there. I don't know if y'all know what a monolith is. I don't. So you got to break that down for me.
Right. So all Black people are not the same, right?
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can get a varied perspective from another Black person.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, like me. I am a suburban black woman, right? You know, I grew up around white folks. I'm a military brat. I have a different perspective than maybe somebody that grew up in Atlanta their whole life, right? You know, so it's just...
That's real.
Yeah, we're all different. So you can get a different perspective from another Black person.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm really ready to get into it.
Okay.
Nah, because you work with high-powered female professionals, right?
Yeah.
And entrepreneurs and things of that nature. Okay, are you done introducing yourself?
Sure.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to be, because listen, him and I talk. I really don't have any formality because
it's good. I'm more casual anyway.
Okay,
so
good.
The small talk, I suck at that. So I just really go straight. So when you're dealing with like, what is one of the some of the biggest challenges that some of your clients deal with, like when it comes to mental health and in that caliber?
Sure. Stress, anxiety, depression. I know from my like high-powered Black women, loneliness. And so the depression that is related to that loneliness. And also grief because of the loneliness, because your life relationally looks different from what you expected it to look. So like you don't always have the husband or the children, and you're like, you know, approaching 40 or in your 40s or 50s.
Right.
And it's so grief because it's that loss of the idea.
Right.
Yeah. Because once you reach 50, a lot of women are like, you know what, this is probably going to be my life. And that's not always true, but that's kind of that grief piece that they're like, man, my life looks different from what I thought.
Right.
So it's like a loss.
That's interesting. Is it because our brothers are not stepping up?
Talk about it.
I just want to know.
What
we need another podcast date for that. No, it's a variety of factors. And I'm not going to get on here and just say that it is all because of y'all.
Cool. Now we'll get them for you now.
Yeah, it's a variety of factors, but one of them is a limited dating pool.
Okay.
Black women, we are the least likely to date outside of our race. And Black men are probably one of the more likely. And so when we are just zoned in on one population that is zoned in on everybody, it just limits us. And then, you know, when we're talking about careers, finances. It's just like an exponential growth amongst Black women in comparison to our Black male counterparts. And, you know, it's a variety of factors, but a lot of it is systemic too.
Okay.
So when we're talking,
talk about that.
So when we're like, you know, having racism and capitalism at play, it just really makes it hard. For just high-powered Black women to find suitable mates. And so that's my passion. Singlehood, even though I'm not single, singlehood, I'm a singlehood scholar. So so that is like my thing, like just talking about and reframing what it means to be single, because it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You meet people and you're like, you tell them you're single, they're like, well, why are you single?
What's wrong with you?
It's like you ask somebody why they married.
Right.
Singlehood is just, you know, it's a status. Some people, a lot of people choose to be single.
That's true.
You know, but that's not how we're socialized. So again, when we're talking about systems, like society systems, we're made to feel less than, right?
Oh man, yeah.
When you don't have a mate.
Dang.
So do you think that some of these issues, or we talk about systemic, right? do you think some of these issues are passed down from?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Even it, like you mentioned before, like how some of our brothers are, statistically speaking, are focused on like a broader, focus when it comes to relationship. Do you think that's systemic or has been passed down?
I think a part of it is white supremacy.
Right.
The thought that dating the other is like an upgrade for you.
Right. Right.
So a part of that is systemic, I guess.
Okay.
But again, people have personal choices. Black women should just choose to like date broader.
Yeah.
But again, we're socialized to want a black family, right? We want chocolate babies, right? We want a black husband. It's like, girl, like, you can date whoever you want.
That's true. Right. Right.
Yeah, a part of it is systemic. A part of it is just personal choices too.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. Well, me, I prefer chocolate.
Yeah.
I love chocolate. As you see my wife.
As you should.
She's chocolate,
As you should.
Yeah. So what you got, brother?
Now, all right. So question.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's more of a choice for women that choose to stay single or that are single, or do you feel like they genuinely want to be in relationships?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Ooh.
I think that look, I want to be politically correct.
I mean,
I think that it ends up being a choice because of circumstances.
Okay.
So after having experienced some challenges in the dating, it's like, you know what? I'm just going to choose to be by myself or to just wait. And sometimes that waiting, because again, we look at a small pool, turns into long-term singleness.
Right.
And so,
yeah.
So I guess it's kind of a mixture, which is another thing too. Look, I feel like I'm getting on a tangent, but it's another thing too that like I work with my clients on is that like just having balance, that things can be several things at one time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah. I don't even want to get started.
Well, okay. Is it okay? I really want to know why. I'm not single. I'm married, very married, but I just want to know why. Is it okay? Now, bringing the accountability back to us, brothers.
Okay.
Is it okay? Are they not? I'm not saying that they're not choosing us, but could it be a difference in ambition?
Sure. It's a variety of factors.
Okay.
It's a variety of factors. And again, a part of that, I think, is systemic, right? So if you are, like, we're cultivating, like, women who are maybe having to be more independent, single parent homes or whatnot, crack era in the 80s, right? You're leaving families with the mom. Mm-hmm. The mom has to make things shake. And so the daughter sees that, right? Continues that. The son sees that and thinks that that's okay. And that gets us to where we are, right?
Right.
So
how do we change that though? Like how do we create? I would not say create a system.
I got an answer for that, man. But I
want to hear your answer, and then I can.
Because I look at everything spiritual, biblically. You know what I mean? And a lot of fellas are not gonna agree. But I believe it's the state of us men,
Okay.
And I think that once we become whole and complete, then we can. Because what I find growing up, like, okay, my father was in my life, but my mother she was still a single mother.
Okay.
But I noticed that there was some trust issues.
Okay.
So I don't think. My opinion, I don't know what statistics says, or you can be a better. I don't think there's not a lot of trust when it comes to men. Like either the cheating, and we have to get past that conversation, by the way, because that's all you hear. You don't, or just really just stepping up and, not necessarily saying just being ambitious, but just having our women best interest at heart, or just even our issues within our own self with women,
Yeah.
I see that we are broken in some of those areas, especially from the arguments that I see online.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my God.
like,
if I see one more post about dates being 50-50, I'm like, y'all, just
Yeah.
do what work for you. Like, why is this a conversation every week?
Right.
I just can't.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what I think. And I'm good that you're here because I get to hash these ideas out that I've been having with you so we can kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, so part of what you're saying, sure, is true. I mean, there's a lot of brokenness, right, amongst Black men, but also Black women.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of it is systemic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so how do we beat systems?
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
AF. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so it's really about a lot of reframing. And so that's why when I see podcasts and I see these men just talking, I'm like, I'm like, y'all, like, what is going on? So we have to do a lot of reframing, which is what therapy really is.
Yes.
It's a lot of thought reframing.
Right.
And so even like with my women clients who I'm trying to like just empower, like in the midst of their singleness, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of reframing, like being single is not bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to settle. Okay. You know, you want a fulfilling life that doesn't cost you your peace or dignity.
That's true.
You know, so just reframing. And so like, when you're sad about being single, you know, we talk about cultivating other relationships that are present, like friendships. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
Or like even colleagues. I know some folks be like, your coworkers are just your coworkers.
Crap.
But if you drag yourself to work every day, right?
You with them more time. Right?
Yeah, you spend more time with them. You want somebody in your corner at work.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So cultivating those relationships, cultivating a self-relationship.
Amen.
Like even when I was just out there talking about how I hang with myself a lot, when I tell people like, they're like, what's wrong with you? Girl, what? When you go out to eat by yourself, you ain't got to wait on nobody. You throw your clothes on. You know what I'm saying? So just even cultivating just those outside relationships, even with the family that you already have. You know, some people don't talk to their siblings. It's like, let's fix those things. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to cultivate deeper connections in all facets of your life. And then who knows, that might put you in a mental, spiritual, physical space to where you can partner and partner well.
Makes sense.
So
so have you noticed because you talked about it, right? Like every day is I don't say every day is a fight, but it's systematic and you have to fight to get what you want, right? Do you feel like there's a level of bitterness there?
She laughed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amongst Black women?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm bitter for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, when I hear their stories, yeah, I'm bitter too.
So,
I feel you.
My question is, because like I think that's a lot of like, and I think especially professional, right? Like, I mean, like you work really hard because I see it all the time, right? Where you work really hard to get somewhere, and you know, sometimes you're at a place where everything is really not that bad, but you can't make the switch in your head, and you end up tainting, you know, your entire team. You taint everything around you. It's just your life becomes so toxic. So how does, I mean, and you seem like a pretty whole person.
But it took work though, right?
So how did you get there? Like, I need you to walk. Let's go back. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. You said that you grew up in suburban, you know, in Colorado.
Yeah, military brat.
Yeah. So moved around a little bit.
Yeah.
How did you, where did you start at in terms of just your journey of mental health and kind of being that wholeness? Like, where were you and how did you get to where you are today, where you can go to lunch on yourself or dinner even by yourself and feel happy about it?
Probably like mid-adulthood. I mean, I've kind of always liked being by myself anyways. But just like mid-adulthood, you just see that things are just not working. Like things aren't clicking the way you want. You just start to seek out just things that make you feel well and not feel good, because there's a difference. Like I can have sex and get turned up, you know, get on that Casamigos, whatever, and I feel good. But things that make you like feel well, it's different. And so
bars.
So I just started to like figure out things that made me feel well. And I just started doing more of it. And then I started enjoying my company more. You know, which sometimes can be counterproductive if you're trying to build relationships. Because you're like, man, why I need to do that if I feel good over here? So again, talking about balance, right? But yeah, probably mid-adulthood, So probably like mid-20s when I really just like zone in on wanting to be a counselor, a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it's just been I'm gonna say an uphill battle because, I be struggling sometimes. and I am very transparent with my clients. Like, maybe I don't always be on them good vibes.
Right.
I can get a little toxic too, you know?
Right.
Again, just generational.
Yeah.
You know what
that's
I'm saying?
true. That's
It's
true.
in me.
Yeah.
Right.
To get a little unique.
I think that's the beauty of humanity though, because we're not all going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not, and I'm not saying that we're not going to be completely whole, but I think that a lot of some of our wholeness has to do with community, association. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, you may have your toxic moments. I may have my toxic moments, but if you can understand me and the depth of me and who I am, then you'll be able to know how to nurture me in that area, and me do you the same, like as well, right?
Yeah.
So I think like community has a lot to play in that too. And I think we just put too much pressure on ourselves when it comes to that, man.
Yeah. And so even with the community piece, I mean, that is a major part of wellness.
Right.
Is having community. And it makes you a little bit less dependent on like romantic relationships. And so that helps to kind of like decrease a little bit of that sadness.
I just got, it hit you too, huh? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I have friends, right? If I have a good career, right? And good relationship with my colleagues and my family, I'm not like 100% dead set on, oh my God, where's my man? Or where's my girlfriend? Where's my wife? Because I have all of these fulfilling pieces. And it doesn't necessarily like absolve the want for romance, right?
Yeah. Right.
But it just kind of tapers it a little because, you don't feel as lonely.
Right.
You don't feel as without.
Makes sense.
Which is again why with my clients, I just encourage them to cultivate relationships. I give them like exercises to, like I do this thing called Friendship Friday. Like every Friday, you just need to reach out to a friend randomly, text them, call them, FaceTime them, whatever.
Right. Connect
and just stay connected. That just helps.
Yeah. Connection.
Yeah. Because the truth is, a lot of my Black women clients, they refuse to date outside their race. Even when I brought it up, they're like, no, that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
So the truth is, if it's not going to happen, if you're not going to do that, you are limited.
Right.
So you might as well cultivate these other aspects of your life because you might not see that end result that you like.
Oh, that's sad though, man.
It is. And my heart hurts for them sometimes because they be distraught. I'm talking about boss women.
Right.
6-figure and above directors, beautiful, distraught.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a husband.
Man. Maybe some men are intimidated by that too.
I mean, partially.
Yeah.
Partially.
Beautiful and you know what I mean? Like, that's like
What have you noticed in that? Because like, obviously, they have it all, right? Except that one thing. What have you noticed that can help? Because you've seen people that have came to you and have found that wholeness and end up finding a man, right? And end up getting married.
Sure.
What kind of advice, I guess, would you give to those that are at that pace right now?
I don't know. Go to therapy. Go to therapy. Like tap into some self-interest. Because a lot of times when I'm working with clients and they're just starting out with me, they don't even know what they like.
I was about to say, I didn't even know how to ask this question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll be like, I was like, so what are your interests? And they'd be like, what is that? What is that?
Right.
And so I think too, helping like boss career women just kind of like find themselves, like really like zoning on themselves. Cause they have no idea about themselves sometimes, like really, and these are like really aware women, but they just, they don't know. And so like just getting them to tap into that. So like therapy, identifying and partaking in self-interest, physical wellness, you know what I'm saying? So like eating better, exercising, just staying active. And then promoting them to have like an active social life.
Makes sense.
Because another thing that I've noticed with my clients is that, Black women have a challenge with friendships too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I noticed that too.
I don't know if it's just Black women. I think it's just I don't know, but yeah.
Well, adults in general, like across races, have challenges with friendships, particularly making friends as adults.
Right.
But yeah, I see Black women. So I talk about Black women. But yeah, cultivating friendships that can help them in this stage.
Right.
And I don't even want to say stage per se, because sometimes singleness is long lasting.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
There is a chance if your dating pool is limited and you won't branch out of that, like, you might just be single.
Yeah.
And so instead of calling it a stage, I guess just, status.
Yeah.
If you are in single status, like those are some things that you might want to do to just cultivate a fuller life and feel well.
Right.
Yeah.
What I guess tool or tip that you use that help some of these ladies or bring about or help some of these ladies with self-awareness?
So like it's a bunch of different activities and exercises we do. But really just asking them, one of my favorite things is, and obviously with like therapy language, you'd be like, how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
But I always be like, what would it look like if,
Right.
Or how would you feel if this was the other way? Just getting them to really dig deep with questioning.
Okay.
And that helps to raise awareness. And then even in moments, I'd be like, what are you feeling at this moment?
Oh, right.
What are you thinking in this moment? Tell me. I can see it in your face a little, but talk to me. And so that just kind of gets them to kind of identify that current space that they're in and just being present, which helps with awareness.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. How does therapy help them in their professional life? Or, I know we talk about dating and I'm assuming that spills over.
Absolutely. And so that's therapy has this pervasiveness that is very positively impactful. And so when we're talking about reframing, the concept of reframing in therapy, I mean, you can reframe everywhere. You can reframe at work. And when I say reframe, that is just looking at a situation from a different angle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you can do that everywhere.
Right.
I mean, hell, it helps to probably do it at work.
Makes sense.
Because otherwise you're going to be mad at your boss, your coworkers every day. But you reframe it you know what? They probably having a bad day, this building is stressful. This job is stressful. I'm not even going to take that personally.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of reframing. So yeah,
it gets them out of their head.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Therapy gives a lot of tools that are just applicable across the board.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, I love therapists, man. Cause I went through a situation when I was, coming up, right. And before I got to six figures, and it was one of those things was dang, how did I not realize or how did I not know that this was this way or whatever? And so I went to therapy.
Okay.
And
love to hear it.
Yeah. And I
love to see Black men in therapy.
I want to go.
You need to go.
Yeah. But I wanted to see am I tripping? How did I miss this? And what I found out though is that I wasn't tripping. It was normal, but it made me feel so much better.
Okay.
Because it was normal. And I went to a Black female therapist.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
It's like going to a sister or a mama or auntie. It's
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just hash out your problems.
But I wanted to add, what you just said, am I tripping? That's actually a great, self-aware
Right.
exercise to give yourself, therapeutically. If you find yourself upset about something, or you're damn, am I tripping? Okay, and that's some good self-awareness, to really reframe, you know what? Am I really mad, or do I feel disappointed?
Right.
Or do I feel saddened by what this person just did or said? So,
right.
Yeah, that's actually another good therapy tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As an entrepreneur, I would like to take therapy, right?
Okay.
How?
Do it, first of all. Because the stress and mental strife of owning your own business is wild. And the effects are pervasive, to family life.
It does.
Personal life, social life. Yeah.
It's really heavy.
Yes.
So besides recommending therapy, what tip could you give me to manage stress? Because I noticed that okay, as an entrepreneur, your day is never over.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Ain't that wild? You quit a traditional 9 to 5 to work 24 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild, but yeah.
And I think the stress, like my problem I have is trying to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for, I guess, all of our listeners who are entrepreneurs and they just feel like they don't have enough time in the day.
Yeah.
They're dealing with stress and sometimes anxiety because when you're in business, you just can't control what's going on.
So many ebbs and flows. Yeah.
Yeah. So what tips or what would you recommend?
Yeah. So like me and my clients, we'll talk about creating systems like structure.
Right.
And so that helps you to kind of like own your day a little bit better.
Okay.
Because like in entrepreneurship, I mean, like you like never sleep. Like it's like, you're like, dang, I just want to go to bed, But like your mind is just so many things going on. So just creating systems,
right, getting
help,
right.
Because I know some entrepreneurs, and I know sometimes it's a cost thing, right? That they don't want to hire an assistant or, a web designer. They want to build their own website,
everything,
answer their calls.
I think that's my problem.
Yeah, you want to outsource,
right? You want to
outsource, within your capacity,
right?
So so like, developing structure systems, outsourcing,
right.
But then also having outlets,
right?
Like your wife just said, I turn up, like I have a great social life,
right.
And that helps to pad the heaviness of, first of all, the just the nature of my job.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then being an entrepreneur, just having a practice and having clinicians that work,
right,
for you, under you. I hate that. Work with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's tough, but I have my outlets too.
Right.
And I make time to sleep.
Right.
Like, yes.
So you make time to sleep.
Yeah, I make time to
She's
sleep.
the second successful person that we talked about or that had on this show that said they sleep.
Yeah.
That make time to sleep. Yeah. So sleep is important.
Sleep is important.
If you want to be successful, you got to sleep.
Yeah. And sleep is important for humans, not just entrepreneurs. And so, when we're talking about in therapy with clients, I'm like, how have you been sleeping? I ask that often.
Right. Right.
And so if you're having challenges sleeping, I'm pretty sure you're having challenges in life.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So, yeah.
Well, is there, besides loneliness, is there any other struggles that like your clients go through? Like what, even concerning business, is there some type of?
Yeah, I mean, stress.
Oh, just stress?
Yeah, it is stress. Okay. Stress and just finding balance, trying to like have a normal life,
right,
outside of an entrepreneurial life.
Oh, normal. Okay.
Yeah. It's, it's tough. And so just helping them to like strike a balance.
Right.
What are your thoughts on work-life balance?
I mean, it's essential.
Okay.
Like it's at the core of, I think, why I function like more optimally, because sometimes I don't feel like I be at my best, but it's because I have a balance. And my clients, I'm very transparent with my clients, and they know like these are off days. If you have an emergency, we have like an emergency protocol,
right?
But we can chat at your next session.
Yeah.
About, your man getting on your nerves. Like, we don't have to have an emergency session right on a Friday because I don't work Fridays, sis. But yeah, just striking a balance and just really prioritizing myself. Mm-hmm. And I've told all of my clients, like, this therapeutic relationship is very important to me, but I am the most important person.
Yeah. Wow.
And even if sometimes they be like, hey, well, dang, but then they get it. Like, and you better be the most important person in your world.
Wow.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's even if you're a mom or a wife.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that spills over. If I don't treat myself well, that spills over to my other relationships.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm like, you the most important person in your life? And baby, I'm the most important person in my life. Like, I prioritize myself above it all.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that I'm selfish, because I will make compromises here and there. But no, for the most part,
not at the sake of your.
Yeah, I come first, and because of that, it helps me to help others.
Right.
Because I'm not pouring from an empty cup.
I got to do a better job at that. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't work-life balance. Like, what is that?
Well, that's my follow-up question, because you have some people that, like me, like I love what I do, right?
Yeah.
I could do it all day long.
Right.
But so I find happiness in it. I do. I know she's shaking her head. I know, but I find happiness in it. So like I look at things from a work life integration.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna let it like consume my life and take whatever. But at the same time, like it's my happy place.
Okay.
Too. What are your thoughts on that? Talk to me. Tell me I'm crazy. I know she don't.
Well, I think too a little bit of that self-awareness. Like, why is that your happy place to work so much and to and it's okay to enjoy your job.
Yeah.
But it's okay to like want a break and need a break and kind of create like a separation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
What if so here at Be More to Do More, we help leaders become who they need to become to do the things that they're called to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
I like that. I like that
So
mantra.
It's one of those things where it's like I'm put on this earth to help others and all, that whole thing and, impact people in a positive way. And I get the chance to do that through what I do.
Okay.
So walk me through it. Tell me I'm crazy.
She's going to hit you with an invoice, man.
No. So.
Because I think there's a lot of leaders that watch us that like, that's what they struggle with the balance of like, doing work, but they also, they're doing it because that's what they love to do.
Right.
So, I think there's a lot of people too that they're trying to figure out what should it look like?
Yeah, it's still balanced because like, even like I think about Kobe Bryant, right? Rest in peace. How much he loved basketball and how it was like an obsession for him as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so in other areas of his life, there's a little bit of a deficit. Like he was like socially awkward, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's just important to cultivate a variety of aspects of your life, okay? Yeah. And you can enjoy what you can your soul, huh? You can enjoy what you do and still like intentionally create breaks from it, okay?
Yeah.
Because then it makes you weird. It makes you weird when.
So what you're telling me right now, what I'm hearing is that I'm an addict.
Ooh.
Possibly. And
My name is Tone and I'm an addict.
Yeah. And I think like the term addicts, like, has this connotation like, okay, they're, addicted to drugs, right? But the thing is, if you have an addictive personality that just gravitates to one thing and is just on it at the expense of other things, family, right? Family, friends, because friends are very important.
Right.
Health, wellness. It's an issue, even if it is a job that you enjoy, right?
My gosh.
Or if it's exercising, because some people get so obsessed with exercising, even though the exercising is a good thing, right? If that's all you do.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So anything, it just needs moderation, right? It needs balance.
I got chills, man. Because my dad told me a long time ago, he said that, and your son, he told me that we have an addiction nature.
Yep.
And he said some may turn to drugs, some alcoholism. And in my mind, at first it was weed, back in
the Sure.
Putting that out there.
Sure.
But I noticed that I always find something to grab onto. So you saying that just I know, right?
Okay.
I know. So now I gotta really have therapy, man. Okay.
Gotta unpack it. But one thing I learned though is kind of being a leader, right? You gotta ask the right questions well. Because like I can ask somebody, hey, how you doing today? Everything going, right?
Fine.
They'll say fine, right? But if I ask, how's your mental health? It's a totally different conversation, right? It's a totally different, so I do think that. So so something we have here on Be More to Do More is we have lyrics of the week.
Lyric. Let's go with it.
So our lyric of the week this week comes from Big Sean.
Okay.
He says, what have you done for yourself? What have you done for your mental health?
Okay.
When you hear that lyric, what comes to your mind?
I think kind of like what I was just talking about, right? Like in what ways have you prioritized your wellness?
Wow.
And I'll ask my clients that, like sometimes that'll be like a check-in, share with me a way that you've prioritized your wellness this week. Some people, they say, I took a bath. Like I soaked, or I went to the spa, or I read. I watched TV. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But just like really encouraging folks to prioritize your wellness. And that looks different from, for different people,
Right. Right.
But yeah.
I usually have a scripture today, but today I'm just really like, I'm going through something. So let me ask you a question. Just found out I'm an addict, man. So okay, because we're talking about prioritizing yourself, right?
Yeah.
So me as an addict.
Oh gosh, here we go.
How do you fight? So no, because there are things I like to do. I like to read. I like to hang out by myself too. Like I haven't went to movies in a while, but I like to do that.
Yeah.
But how do you fight that urge?
To what?
Work. Because I'm an addict. So,
right. So that means you have to be intentional about not working. So when you find yourself.
You hear that word?
Yeah. So when you find yourself working, stop. And as an entrepreneur, that's what happens. You just can't stop.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so there are days like when I'm like typing some therapy notes or like handling stuff for my clinician, I'm like, girl, wait, it's 9 p.m. And I will make myself shut the computer down.
Oh, man.
Because it's like, these are not emergencies.
Right.
It can wait. And so, yeah, just intentionality.
How you get that discipline? Because that takes a lot of discipline.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough to break an addiction, right?
Yeah.
But you have to have intentions and you have to have support too.
She said intentions again, bro.
Yeah.
She's intentional about it. So that's part of the scripture. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta find it because it's not weird. It's not a weird scripture, but it says, let me see, Genesis chapter 1. Let me go to. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. No, that's not what I want to read. But pretty much when he said that, here you go. By the seventh day, God had finished the work, and he had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all of his work. Now, the importance of rest.
If God rested,
dang,
because
come on
now, right in this scripture, it just showed me the necessity of rest, and not only just rest. He meditated on what he'd done already. he contemplated.
Yeah.
But if I'm constantly going and chasing that addiction,
how can you reflect?
How can I reflect?
Yeah.
And if I can't reflect, I can't propel. Boom.
Dang. You just solved your own problem just like that.
No, which is why I love therapy.
Yeah.
Because it's moments like that happen all the time where people are listening to themselves.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, and I'd be like,
we got us a therapist.
I'd be like,
what?
I ain't even have to say nothing. You did that on your own. Just building that self-awareness. Yeah.
We got us a therapist.
So what about the people that are self-aware, but their habits still, like you could be like, okay, I know I shouldn't cuss. And then something happened and you just let it go, right? Like,
well, I mean, self-awareness doesn't stop like humanity, right?
Yeah.
So, I can be very aware, in some BS, right?
Yeah.
Doing whatever I want, which again, you have to strike a balance, right? So you want to have awareness, but you want to have accountability, right? Or discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a mixture.
Man.
Yeah, it's a mixture. It's not just about being aware. Because I'm very aware. But I'm gonna have me a Dr. Pepper every day. Okay? Maybe 2 or 3.
Right.
But I have all the awareness.
Right.
It's just you got to have that discipline. You got to have that action.
Yeah.
I find myself pretty aware, but I just had a moment. and thanks to our therapist here, man. Like she did wonders. Just. I actually feel bad not paying you right now.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so we talked about, some of the struggles that some of your clients may have.
Yeah.
Is there anything, let's talk about the internet, right? Because I did mention some of the conversations on podcasts we might hear, have there been a conversation that you've seen on the internet that you just really wanted to say something so bad, concerning your profession, and
yeah.
So you got a whole list of
I really want to just open up the floor for you to just you know what I mean? Like just really go in and
I think that The internet, Al Gore's internet is a great place.
Walk us through that, because I don't know what that means. I remember who Al Gore was, but I'm a 90s baby, so.
You're 90s baby? Okay. Okay. But yeah, it's just like, the internet got like popular in the 90s and Al Gore was like the vice president. It's just like a random thing.
Yeah. Okay,
but the thing about the internet too is that, it's open to everybody.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're like listening, their perspectives and like their opinions. And I think that trivializes my field where there's a lot of people who say great things.
Right.
Who aren't therapists, or like people who are therapists that say things that kind of align with people's, I guess, problematic behavior. They're like, I'm gonna do that. The therapist on Instagram said blah, blah, blah. And so I think it just trivializes our profession to where everybody thinks that they're a therapist. And it's just, it just kind of makes our job a little challenging. Because there's just so many opinions on the internet and on the social media. And if somebody can give you an opinion that helps you to still do the BS that you're doing, that's what I want to listen to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I want to keep drinking Dr. Pepper. So if that therapist says, do what you want, blah, 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 I'm going to go with it.
So that's BS, huh?
Yes. And then another thing that I'm noticing too is that like a lot of clinicians, not a lot, but there are some therapists, they like to be famous.
Right. So they say famous stuff.
Yeah, like and they like that type of popularity. And I think it clouds their like therapeutic judgment.
Yeah. Right.
So
Right. I am one of the ones who probably hesitated going to therapy because, I just want the therapist to agree with me.
Yeah.
But how do you give advice without making them feel hit?
Well, Well, the first thing is I don't give advice.
Oh, okay. Really?
I don't.
Wait,
she just no, but she just did what she do on me.
Oh yeah.
Like real talk.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really like we just really had a therapy seat.
Yeah.
You see the emotions I dealt with over here, man? Like all the emotions I just went through.
Yeah, I don't give advice. I help develop insight.
Right.
And then you have to make your own decisions.
Does that take discipline though? Like to not give advice?
Yeah.
Or is this just such a part of your...
Yeah, because sometimes I want to be like, girl...
Just leave them.
Girl. And that's why I can't do couples therapy, because I'll be like, girl,
come on. Really?
Stay 1 minute after. Let him walk out. Stay 1 minute. Girl, leave him.
Wow.
Like, I want to tell my clients, hey, don't do that or do this and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't help the end game.
Right. Yeah,
because the end game is that I want them to be self-sufficient. I want them to be insightful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Like all of that. And that just doesn't help. Now, some clinicians do. They give more advice. I can give some recommendations, right?
Right.
I can tell them maybe what I would do, but I'm so different from them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Man, that's dope. Well, it's kind of like how we talked about last podcast, like just us being ambitious and just talking to people like how we would talk to us.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm real, like, bad at giving advice. No, I'm not bad at giving advice, but I'm bad because I give it.
You just give it,
I just, like...
Yeah, because you want to problem solve. You want to just help people,
I'm a problem solver. So just to have that discipline to not do it...
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. And then kind of back to what he said about the, like, feeling hit. Mm-hmm. The truth is therapy is going to hit you.
Yeah, I just got hit, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't... I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to feel good. When you start to get more aware and just think about like some of your habits and just some of your maybe lack of intentions or whatnot, it's upsetting.
Right.
And like, and even in my informed consent clause, like I tell clients that like, you might feel bad before you feel better. You might feel worse.
Right.
Before you feel better.
That's good. Yeah.
Did you lose a lot of people because of it? Is that why you put it in your clause?
Well, no, it's particularly because I work with Black folks, I think sometimes that people don't have like a full on they have like a skewed perspective of what therapy is.
Right.
And I don't want them to come in and think I'm about to be just, so sweet.
Right.
And I'd be like, what you told me last week doesn't align with what you just did. So talk to me about,
What you be calling me out?
so just talk to me a little bit about why you made that decision, knowing that you wanted this outcome.
Right.
Ooh.
They be like, I'll see you next week. But yeah, so like you're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
And me as a therapist, like when I'm in therapy, I get hit even to this day.
Wow, you take therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
that's what's
Just having like to reframe things. I'm like, man, I did that all wrong.
Right.
But I'm grateful. I'm in the space where I'm grateful, where I don't feel offended.
Right.
Yeah.
Because my awareness has developed. And I'm like, you know what? I needed that.
I'm learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting
and
better.
so therapy is a process, because people will come to therapy expected to be super sweet, expected to get their problems fixed within 2 sessions.
Right.
I'd be like, you're 50 years old. You've been living this way for 5 decades.
Right.
2 sessions with me doesn't change
True. Right.
all of that.
Right.
And all those ecological factors that make a person who they are, family, finances, all of that. So
I got a question on Gen Z and like the new people that's coming up, right? Because they're different from how we grew up. It was you do what I tell you to do, and that's it, right? Now it's they want more relations with their boss. They want to feel satisfied. They want to, So I guess like how do you because. And knowing that, because again, we have a lot of leaders that listen to us and a lot of entrepreneurs that are leading teams. How do they lead? And because they are tied in the outcome, because if this person's not successful, like they want to give the advice. How do you give the advice, or how do you not give the advice and still get the result that you want? Because at the end of the day, this generation wants to feel close to their leader.
Yeah. I think the word that sticks out again is like balance. And so helping like whoever you're leading to feel like valued, but feel accountable.
Right.
And I think that's a tough balance to strike, but it's necessary when you're running a business. And it's really hard with Gen Z, because as soon as you upset them, they want to quit. And so again, I think like teaching them balance as well. Like everything's not going to feel good.
Right.
And that's nothing about the internet. It makes it kind of like empowers them to like not be accountable at all.
Oh yeah.
Because they'd be like, if your boss don't do this, then just quit. What? if you're supposed to be to work at 9 a.m. and you show up at 9:30, that's an infraction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as the leader, you can be a little flexible, right? Allowing staff to work from home, or, giving them a little flexibility when they show up. So it's just really about finding balance.
Right.
And that just looks different from field to field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My clinicians, they have a lot of flexibility. And I've even...
They love you, don't they?
They do.
She sound like a cool boss. I want to come over to you. I want to work for you.
I have a very good relationship with my clinicians, but I also treat them like people.
Yeah.
Right.
Like humans. True. And I treat them the way that I wish that I was treated, as like an emerging clinician. But I also hold them accountable, but in my cool way.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I'm trying not to talk down to them. And I remember when I hired my first clinician, and she called me, she wanted to talk to me, and she had told me that she felt like I was micromanaging her. When I tell you I was crushed, because I'm like, oh my God, I never want to be a kind of boss. When I got off the phone with her, I cried.
Yeah.
I was so hurt. But then I circled back, and I'm like, you know what? You treating her like that because you don't even trust yourself as a boss.
Oh, man.
So a lot of self-reflection has to happen too when you're a leader. You have to really, come to terms with how are you leading? Are your ducks in a row? And I recognized that because I was brand new to private practice, my ducks was all over the place. I had ducks in the pond, in the house. And so because of that, it trickled down into how I treat her, because I'm like, if my stuff ain't together, I'm going to make sure your stuff together, you know? Right. And so I just, But again, we had that kind of rapport.
So
And just imagine if she didn't feel comfortable enough to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But she did though.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, because she felt comfortable with it.
Yeah. But that is the culture that I cultivate at the Up Center. Like because that's what I needed coming up.
Right,
Like as
right.
as like an emerging clinician, just more support. Like I had to get my stuff out in the mud. Okay.
Right.
And I just don't want that for my clinicians. I want them to have an easy life.
Right. Yeah.
Because that helps them to be better therapists.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
your whole life is in disarray, how can I expect you to show up for the people that we serve
Right.
in a good way? So
Right.
yeah.
Man, that's the part that she felt open to come to you lets me know that she know that she could.
Yeah. And granted, she probably was a little scared. I mean, that's a scary conversation to, you know, somebody to sign your paycheck. She'd be like, hey, back up off me. You know what I'm saying? But I always, from the beginning, I'm like, just keep it real with me. If I've said something that offends you, because I am very blunt.
Right.
I am very straightforward.
Direct,
you know,
okay.
Yeah. It's like, or something, if there's like a system in place that is like counterproductive to you doing well, like talk to me.
Right.
And that's, you know, sometimes I think they'd be a little too comfortable. I'd be like, all right, I ain't changing that now. But I'm just glad that I have created that space for them.
Right.
And I've just prayed that I can continue to be that kind of leader. Because it does take work. Because there are times when I might do want to go off a little.
Right.
But I'd be like, no, because you don't want nobody talking to you like that.
See, you're saying a lot of key things. Number one, you're saying that, like, the key thing you said is that you probably was micromanaging because your ducks probably wasn't in the row.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that lets me know that as a leader, you need therapists. You need therapy. You got to get just so if you see like chaos is going on in your workplace, I can't say that it's all of you, but maybe it's a reflection of what's going on with yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or just like, you know, lack of systems, right? Lack of consistency.
Right.
You know, I mean, it trickles down.
That's true.
Like any whack place I've ever worked.
It was the manager.
Okay. Leadership. Leadership. You know, even when I was a school counselor, sorry principals.
Right.
AP, sorry assistant principals. It trickled down.
See, I wanted to ask about that. Like when you first said it, he was like, yeah, I can't do children no more. But I didn't know how.
Yeah. Now, granted, I love being a school counselor. I love the actual work, but I just like working with adults, like just super aware.
Right. Oh, yeah.
People like that understand sarcasm because I'm very sarcastic.
Right.
They're just older, you know, just adults.
Is it a challenge for you too? Maybe? Kind of? Than kids? The bigger shit? No? Not really? Oh,
I mean,
she fire. We ain't she fire.
I mean, it's all challenging at times.
Right.
Let me just say that.
Okay.
But,
So one of my final questions is the person that you are, because again, we help people become the person you need to become to do the things you're called to do. The person you are has gotten you to this point right now.
yes.
Who do you need to become to get to your next level?
I don't know. I do feel like I need to become more disciplined. And I also need to finish this doctorate because I feel like the doctorate just causes me stress. But yeah.
Do you need it though?
No, that's the problem. That's the problem. I do well without it, but I'm just too deep in now to stop because I'm in dissertation. But so yeah, getting out of school and then becoming more disciplined. And then also more knowledgeable about business as it pertains to like taxes and like running like a healthcare type profession.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of things that I did not know, which was another reason why I was micromanaging my first clinician, because I was like, girl, look, we were all confused over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just even like becoming more knowledgeable just about being a business owner. But yeah, you know, I'll get there, you know.
Right.
Because I started dry. Like I just went out on a whim. It was like the pandemic. And I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and make this thing shake, you know? And I just learned from mistakes, experience. Like,
did you have a coach at all? Like, I
have one now.
Okay.
But back then I was like, look, I just can't go.
So you have a business coach?
Yes. So I have a business consultant.
Okay. So
her and I get together once a month and we just talk about business stuff. Another Black woman, Dr. Christy Holloway.
Shout out.
Yes. Yeah. And she just helps and supports me, which is nothing goes back to like what I'm talking about gatekeeping, is that like she does her own thing. Like she she has a bunch of clinicians, like buildings, everything. Like, she's not worried about me
Yeah.
Right.
taking nothing from her. And that's the kind of the perspective that I have.
That's
like,
what's up.
is that whatever is mine is for me.
Yeah.
Like, I like function from like this perspective of abundance that is,
Abundance. I like that. I
you
like
know,
that.
like
I
I'm
like
never, because no one's like me.
that. Right.
I am a different type of person, right?
I always just talked about that.
You know what I'm saying? I am a different type of Black girl.
Right.
Like, I have a different type of experience. And if a client is for me, they're for me, or my clinicians, it'll work. And if it doesn't,
Mm-hmm. So be it.
yeah,
Right.
somebody else will come and need services and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Miss Brentia Caldwell, we want you to let the people know where can they come and get therapy at,
Okay.
and and how can they reach you. All right.
Yeah. All right. So we are the Up Center. We are located like near downtown Decatur, off of Claremont Avenue. We see in person and virtual. Our website is upcentercounseling.com, and we have 4 clinicians total, and then 1 intern. Our intern sees people for free or reduced rate for those who are having some financial differences, and then we accept insurance too. So.
Right.
Yeah. And then I offer supervision. So anybody looking to get licensed in the state of Georgia, get their LPC so they can do what I do, I am here to support. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You have to have a psychology degree to do this, or
No, I'm a master's in counseling.
okay?
So can I just come directly to you? Because I just had an epiphany today.
And I was just about to say too, we actually have a Black male clinician on our staff too.
Okay.
And I know that sometimes that is a barrier for individuals to seek therapy. So yeah, we have a Black male, super cool. All my clinicians are super cool. You super casual. You know, we wear sneaks. You know, we
Okay.
You know,
I rock with that.
Yeah, we keep it very casual.
Okay.
You know, keep the vibes authentic so that people
Yeah.
can really be themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any last word for the people?
This was fun, actually.
Yeah, it's real cool.
You know, I'm kind of like anti-podcast. I'd be like, man, these cats need to stop talking on the
man.
internet. But no, this was fun, and I just appreciate the platform. Because I mean, mental wellness is very important, particularly for our community.
Definitely.
And I just think the more we talk about it, the more we like normalize it and remove the stigma, the more well we could be.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you guys be sure to like, share, subscribe to this information. Hit the bell. Hit the bell, man. Y'all just heard it. Y'all look, we just had therapy.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all better share this, man, and get this information out of here, man. Any last words, brother?
I'm good, man.
We good?
I really appreciate you coming in and
We
joining us.
definitely do.
Took a lot out of it. Hit dog or holler, I'm hollering right now. But, no, it's good, dog. I love accountability. I love becoming better. And I think today you made everybody that's watching this better.
Definitely.
No problem.
And same here, likewise.
Thank you for having me.
Like I said, I just had a revelation.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm good to go now. I'm a recovery. I'm in recovery right now. But y'all give it up for Brentia Caldwell, man. She did an awesome job. We appreciate you again. And
Thank you.
anything else, brother? All right, we out. Peace.
Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about him. Going hard for the game, showing love, don't tolerate.